What's up, guys? Welcome to another video. Let's jump right into it. So it's been a while. Last time I talked to you guys was when the old FTX was collapsing, and the FUD and all of the uncertainty about that event has pretty much, I think, already played out. We've got our Bitcoin chart. We tested the lows a little bit today. The same with Hex. We tested the lows a little bit. Today is an exciting day because we have the HSI auctions going on right now. You can see them playing out right here. And I woke up early to take a look at them. And I also took a look at them yesterday when they were on quite a discount. And I wrote down a few stakes that I wanted to buy. But later on I just thought about it a little bit more and decided it wasn't worth the effort anymore after I wrote down like 30 stakes that I wanted to buy. Because it was so cheap, and I figured that people are probably waiting for now, right? Well, it's been playing out for quite a while, but they were probably waiting to put in their auctions a little bit later, as we can see here. Now there's some cool arbitrage going on. I can probably pull that up for you guys, because what people are doing is they're calculating what. So for instance, let's take a look at this. You can see 90 shares here. This is actually the most important thing to take a look at. You go over to hexmodel.com, and this is the homepage, and you put in, how much was that now? 9 shares. And we just click the update. Obviously the share rate's not accurate. With the Icosa price being down a little bit. So this is about, I think it's at 89 cents right now. So they're arbitraging this T-share rate with the Icosa price. So this is about $2,000, a little bit less perhaps. And then they're calculating the worth for 2000 hedron. And if they can get it for a discount, they then sell that HSI to the contract, and then you can then obviously rebuy more hedron to go into the next auction. And I was playing around. I didn't bet on a single one. I thought maybe let's just have them play out. I wasn't gonna put all of my energy into this. There might be people that have bots that have a bit of a advantage here, or they've got spreadsheets which updates it quickly for them. By the way, the poly network failed, so I'm glad I didn't. I got some questions about that. I'm glad I didn't participate on it. Yeah, so it's very cool, and to see it play out, I like the Icosa play. It was interesting. What I did is I simply minted the hedron that I had going on my stakes. I think I minted it the day before yesterday. And I was sitting maybe looking to go into one of these auctions. But at the end of the day, I simply just went and I actually just bought some Icosa at like 90 cents. And made a new wallet and staked it over there. So just playing the dumb person's game, you can probably call it like that, or the lazy person's game, because the yield is going to be pretty extraordinary. We can see here that yesterday the hedron supply, shout out to Maxim Broadcast, was 13 trillion. So there's about, this is the Icosa contract, there's about a trillion that has already been burned. I thought obviously there was more minted as well, like I minted mine yesterday. I thought maybe there'd be more burning, but the auction is obviously going to be going on a lot today and tomorrow as well. So we'll give it a little bit more chance. So yeah, all I'm doing is I'm playing that Icosa staking yield game. Not the most exciting, but I'm pretty sure some nice, because I saw some really nice arbitrage opportunities, but I'm just not quick enough, and I keep on second guessing myself, so I keep on missing the darn auction. So I just thought I'd leave it and just stake my. So I've got 2 Icosa stakes running now. And yeah, I'll just play it calm like that. I don't want to be chasing pennies in front of a freight train, like Richard Hart always says, making stupid mistakes in that. So I'd leave it up to the other guys to do it. Now, obviously, you're your own financial advisor, and I don't give financial advice. You can obviously do whatever you like. I mean, I'm sure you can make a darn lot of money by playing this arbitrage, by going, checking the T-share price, and then or checking the amount of Icosa you can get for your T-shares, sell that HSI back to the contract for your Icosa, and then liquidate that Icosa. And we can see that's in fact going on with the Icosa price at 86 cents right now. RSI pretty low. These are getting into very profitable buying zones for Icosa. So a nice opportunity for those that want to buy some Icosa and perhaps stake it. Yeah, very cheap down here. We can look at the hedron versus Icosa. I've got the hedron versus Icosa up here somewhere. This is the hedron versus Icosa pair. So hedron is valuable versus Icosa down here. So you want to be, look how beautifully this double played out that I had measured out for you guys. Remember, this is the large M, and it just exactly hit our targets, like to the point, bounced off it. So yeah, you wanted to be getting some Icosa here. This was a little bit confusing. This might be a little bit confusing, right? But Icosa tends to get a little bit expensive here. What's the price of hedron? 2.8. So I'm a little bit confused. Do I have this the wrong way around? Is Icosa valuable versus hedron here? It could be. Please excuse me. Ratio trading can get complicated sometimes. Maybe someone can clear it up on the charts for us, or in the chat for us. So just we've covered the deflation in hedron. I would like to see a little bit more, but people are obviously minting hedron. I've covered that. Follow Won't Settle Media on Twitter. He's really up to date with his Icosa plays. We've talked about the hedron versus Icosa. So I think I got it turned above here. Icosa is valuable versus hedron down here. And up here, Icosa is valuable versus hedron. I'll clear that up for myself. I need to think about it a little bit. But either way, the price was perfectly hit. We're getting into oversold areas. So yeah, but I still think hedron or Icosa is pretty cheap down here, right? But this arbitrage is going to be going on for quite a while. So we might get a little bit more cheaper prices as well, right? Hex on the weekly chart. We had a little bit of a dip earlier today as people were panicking the Bitcoin price. Like it looked like Bitcoin was about to break its lows. But overall, Hex is still pretty good deal down here. The indicators are quite low, although can be a little bit lower. If you guys have seen my tweet about Hex, this looks darn a lot like Wyckoff accumulation. This is the accumulation phase. It happens at the bottom of the cycle, right? And we had a little bit of a test here. It would have been nice to see it come down a little bit more. But already an amazing reaction off there. Testing the candle bodies down here and finding a lot of support down there and getting bought up aggressively. This is a Dragonfly Doji, which is a pretty bullish candle. The weekly closed down on a little red dot down there, but it's nothing major. We had a red dot back here with some consolidation and it popped off again. This is the Wyckoff distribution here. I've tweeted it. It's on my Twitter profile, so do go follow me on Twitter. But still, this looks pretty much like it's in play. As long as we hold support on these lower levels, pretty good, right? But just to blow my horn a little bit, these are only the candle bodies, so it's not including the wicks, these wicks, right? So it has to look like this. I should have actually drawn it up like this. Well, if you look at it with just the line chart, we might not have gotten that spring down yet. Just to keep that in mind, right? Let's check out Hex versus Bitcoin on the weekly chart. We still have a nice little green dot. This chart looks incredibly well. It's just, I mean, right, this is where value is at, right? Below the reload zone. Oopsie. That's all of the opposite. Right, this is where value is at. This is where the granny investor gets her coins, right? And these are staking areas, right? This is where she's staking her coins. Let's check out what Hex has done versus Ethereum. We have a little green dot on. It hasn't confirmed. Obviously, this weekly has only started now. It needs to close this week before it's confirmed, but that's good to see. I can see nothing wrong with this. We're pretty much at the lows. It's this big red or yellow line is the Wyckoff check, right? Looks darn bullish. Let's see what all of you are saying in the chat. Jaggy, what's up? UFO to go, always here supporting the Hex streamers. What's up, dude? Crypto Honesty 32303 USA here. Awesome, bro. Whatever that means. There has been some really cheap buys of stakes. Some of them bought the poly executor and now it's stuck in the contract forever. Dude, I saw that 2 million hedron buy. I was like, what? How? The guy got the poly contract got like a 60k worth Hex for like the most ridiculous prices. No, I was so, and now it's blocked. It's stuck in there. Yeah, I'm glad I didn't participate in the poly. The only Maximus contract that I've interacted was the Maximus contract back in the day, literally when it came out. I minted 30,000 Maximus, but I practically sold all of it before it got into a discount. If I can't stake shit, I just sell it. Like, I'm terrible at holding. I need an incentive to hold. So that's why I like staking, and that's why I like just staking the hedron. What does everybody think about the Icosa bullshit or really the poly bullshit? Don't pick up pennies in front of a freight train. That's all I can say. Like Richard Hart always says, code is incredibly difficult, and they were coding it so quickly, like on stream as well. I mean, maybe they got a little bit cocky as well. It's funny because Gold Key was crapping on how ironic it is. He was crapping on Synergy, the coder for Icosa and Hedron, because he made a little error. Suddenly, the next day, the whole poly contract flops. Hey, yes, that must be terrible. I don't want to be hating on them. They're much smarter than I'd ever be. I'm not a coder, and I don't think I'll ever try. But it's difficult, yeah. So I feel for them. I really feel sorry for them. But I mean, hopefully they can reimburse everybody. I've seen maybe they're doing an airdrop or whatever. Hopefully it works out for everybody, because there's lots of hedron in that contract. Look at this. Let's see how much. Let's see what's going on with that contract. I know this guy. No, it's not this chart. Here, this is the poly address. Let's go to the contract and we can see all of the hedron that's stuck in here. And people are still minting. Oh no, people are still minting. They should have taken it offline. Oh wow. So yeah, $3 million worth of hedron stuck in here. That's 1 trillion, 1.2 trillion hedron. Oh, ouch. Yeah, so they'll lose a little bit of credibility, but too bad for them, hey? Hi Hans, Michelle K, what's up, dude? Looks like hedron woke up. Yeah, hedron got a little bit of a bid. It's been chilling around its reload zone for quite a while. Contrary to what everybody thought, it actually did the opposite. It dumped with the market. This can be... I mean, people feel the fear, right? Especially when the overall market dumps. So, and then they start dumping these coins. In that way, we are a little bit correlated. It's perfect. Or it's cool to see how this target of this M played out. This is this target down here that was actually hit. We found support on it. What do we think is going to be happening from here with the hedron price, guys? It still has some downwards moves. There's a little bit of demand I would expect for hedron because people need to buy Icosa or the HSI stakes to do the arbitrage game or maybe get some cheap HSIs. But after today, what might happen? There's still some downside on the RSI left. So we could come down a little bit after the auctions have played out. There's still this target that has to be met at 1.8 or 5 zeros 1,8 or 5 zeros 1,800 area. Well within the reload zone, right? But do not be surprised. Altcoins tend to do full retracements all the way back to the 88.6 level. So take 1 0 away down here. Very, very possible. So, but we'll keep our eyes on hedron to see what's going on. So I've got 2 hedron Hex prices here. The Wyckoff check, we've talked about that. Very important to see that people actually keep up this hedron price. But I expect it to do that because people are going to want to stake some Icosa by the end of today, because the yield is going to be quite insane. People are speculating like 20% of your staked Icosa in one day, which could be pretty cool. That's why I staked and I'm playing the chilled game, right? We've talked about all of that. This is Hex versus hedron on the weekly chart. On the daily chart, we almost broke out of this market structure here, but came down and now we're below it. When we finally do break this area, let's do a conservative move over here. This takes you all the way up to 18,000 hedron per hex. So hedron losing value versus hex. I want that to happen because Hex has pretty much just been taking punishment from hedron all the way, right? But hedron was so undervalued, people didn't really know what prices we were looking at. The RSI is pretty extended up here, the stochastic's pointing down, so maybe some consolidation, maybe a retracement all the way back to the 61.8. Because these indicators are a bit oversold, so I think down here. So a nice little deal here to swap your hedron for Hex if you're looking to mint some in the future. That's probably what I would do. I'm not your financial advisor. I'm simply just reading the chart like a book to you guys, right? And have you guys seen the spaces? with hedron or with Richard Hart and GRC. Let's listen to what they have to say.
Most cryptos have a very, very high failure rate. I think exchanges with licenses tend to have a lower failure rate just because there's more barrier to entry, so there's less competition. Could be wrong.
So GRC is Gemrap Crypto is coming up now. He's going to ask Richard Hart a question. This is hilarious.
Like, it's hard for me to get a sample of how many failed exchanges are out there.
Hey, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Hey, Richard, how you doing?
Didn't you leave the community for promoting a shitcoin or something?
Yo, Gemrat, what's up, dude?
Hell no, bro.
Didn't you promote that coin that went fucking to zero every day? Just keeps going down every day.
Which one?
Zen?
What a coincidence! Right as I play, GRC is watching.
Can you promote the goes only down coin?
Zen is great, bro. I've made crazy cool, awesome learning experiences with really low USD valuation, and I did it safely. Taught everyone how to do it, and
right. But where'd the money come from?
Everybody should go watch this. It's really good, informing, and I think GRC. Big ups to you. You handled it pretty well, dude. And I know you're getting some hate, and people are criticizing you a little bit, but I mean, it's part of life, right?
You
just wrecked the retail exchange, guys. So you minted a bunch of coins and dumped them on the retail exchange, guys.
I bought 45 grand worth of Hex in the last 400 days.
Okay. So there's a general rule. If people were to run scams and shit and then put their like net profit into something good, like I consider Hex good, then the next price would go up.
You really think Zen's a scam? You really think Zen's a scam?
I think proof of botnet is a very bad idea. And I think proof of fuck everyone over on gas fees to spam up the network is a very bad idea. And I think I think proof of
he can be pretty brutal. Like, I don't know, Richard Hart doesn't really know empathy that much, so he likes to rip people new holes, and he can be quite confrontational, right? And I mean, even to go up here, it just shows balls. Like, I'm scared to even ask the dude a random question.
I want to learn. I need to learn. I'm a pleb. Help me, please help me. I love your work. I've listened to all your work, everything 100 times. I've read your book a million times. I just want to understand what you're thinking, so I can maybe learn.
Well, people come into the Hex community and they build like a little brand, a little mini brand, and then they savage fuck them with a shitcoin. So we've seen it with Axion.
Yeah, I'm not gonna play the whole thing, but I get what you're what I mean. Not all of us are like super rich, right? And I get that we are here to. I mean, only those that have already made it, like that are super settled already, is doing YouTube and creating content for Hex out of how do you say, like out of goodwill, like out of the pleasure of their pretty little hearts, right? We're all deep down in it for something, right? Like my channel's not monetized. I haven't gotten a donation out of anybody. Like I used to be like, just before Hex, like I was swing trading cryptocurrency, like in and out of shit coins, like literally all of them. Like the guys that have been here from the start know that like I was trading literally thousands of altcoins. And now people say traders don't make money, but I've recorded live on this channel 4,000% gains, right? Now, I've deleted all of those coins, but those that have been here from the start can vouch for me, right? Like I thought maybe I should create only content for Hex, right? Because I can't be a hypocrite. Like currently I'm 100 or like 98% invested in Hex, right? Except for the little bit of hedron that I get daily and the little bit of Icosa stake that I have, right? So, and we've seen the self-custody thing play out. Not your keys, not your crypto. I can't be sending people to exchanges to get wrecked when I'm not holding anything on exchanges. Like I've been self-custodying since the ICO bubble in 2017, right? back then we were creating our wallets because you had to play with the ICOs on the Ethereum blockchain, right? So, I mean, I get that the content creators want to pivot to, but it's probably not the right thing to do as well, because we are in fact leeching from the Hex community. And I've noticed again, like with all of the FTX stuff playing around, it's just it's probably not worth it talking about anything else, promoting anything else. Like you get one Black Swan event and everything is wrecked, right? So yeah, I mean, maybe we are supposed to be in it for the tech. Like I'm really conflicted. I have no idea what to do. Yeah, and it's been a better. The last week has been again once a bit of a wake up call. Like why are we here? I mean, what are we doing? And lots of people are quitting because of the SEC FUD as well. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, reach out to your streamers, guys. I mean, it is a tough time, and the bear market is so darn boring right now. Let's see what you guys are saying. Like, I like to dump on GRC as well. I think GRC is an easy target, but the reason why I'm so critical with GRC is because I see so much of myself in the dude, right? Yeah, and it's... Yeah, I mean, times are tough, so Zen is great, people will learn. It's about... Yeah. I mean, I was a little bit hesitant about it because I've seen so many people come and go into the Hex community. Like with the WISE, like I almost got rugged out of Hex through the WISE contract, right? Like I made videos on this channel about WISE. And I, in fact, made money, but I continued to learn. Richard Hart sometimes says he doesn't mention these coins because if he does mention it, he might send people to that. But him attacking some of the principles that coin stood for actually made my eyes go open and notice that WISE wasn't going to succeed because they locked up all of that liquidity in ETH in a version 2 contract, which was probably the stupidest thing to have ever done because you have an infinite sell wall to sell against, which was darn stupid at the time. But we being newbies, as GRC likes to mention, I mean, the dude has been here for 10 years. I mean, Richard Hart, right from the start. And for us to come, like, it's been 5 years for me from 2017, and I'm always learning new things. So yeah, I'm all over the place, but let's get to the comments. Maybe I can get back on track. It's about learning and not listening to one person. Josie, I was always a person that always went against the grain. I was never one to go with the crowd. Like when all my family was part of one denomination in Christianity, I investigated it, and now I believe totally different than they raised me. And that's like with every part of my being is like that, with exercise, with diet, with... I mean, I can go deep into it, but it's not coming to mind. And the going into the Hex cult, if you want to call it that, was incredibly difficult for me. Like, that went against everything that I ever stood for. It's probably because I'm a little bit of a reject, a little bit of a weirdo. There was these heavy trance parties that were like very, very popular in South Africa, and I literally quit it overnight. Like in the middle of the night of this massive outdoor trance party, I got in my car and drove home because something just came over me and I didn't want to be part of the group, right? So getting into the Hex community has been, and like you say, listening to one person has been very hard for me to do, as I'm such an outsider, a loner in a way. But I've come out so much better financially just by listening to this guy. Like, everything about Richard Hart is contrary to what I believe in. There's so many things, and I don't want to really go into them. The materialism and there's many things I don't like, but I've come to learn over time that it is probably better for me to not. Yeah, it's been a struggle, but for the better. I know, I mean, even just financially, I'm so much better off, emotionally and in so many different ways. And it's been hard. I mean, there's so many normies, and I cringe a lot on Twitter, because there's so many different people in the Hex community, and I cringe at them sometimes. But yeah, Richard Hart said one thing once which stayed with me, where he said that a cult is a very powerful thing, because it's almost like the family. You do not just let anyone into your family, right? Imagine you're a dad and there's a guy that wants to marry your daughter. You're going to look the guy over like with a magnifying glass and find out who this person actually is. You don't just bring in anybody, right? And you don't discuss some things in the family unit. I mean, the dad is like a benevolent dictator, right? What he says goes. And there is strength in that. Like I've seen, I mean, just look at the X community. It's super powerful. I mean, there is nothing like it. And I mean, these companies have literally billions of dollars. Just look at FTX to do marketing on. These guys were paid $50K a month to shill FTX, right? I mean, just an infinite amount of money. And the Hexican community it's all natural. It's all grassroots. It's quite humbling in a way. It's still teaching me so much to this day. I mean, Lyman Ortega has probably been here since the start, because he's all about the altcoins. Doge, ETH, BTC is all I'm a whole. I mean, you better sell half on a double on Dogecoin, because it's going to do the same that it did last cycle again. I mean, Doge is not going to change the world, but it's going to run again. We've seen these things that do bear market rallies, like Hex has done. These are very good to see, coins rallying in the bear market. That means they're probably going to be coming back. If Pulse ever comes out, I will get a small bag of that. My brother is exactly the same as you, dude. He also didn't want to sacrifice. It's probably, in hindsight, I mean, dude, I've saved so much USD by sacrificing. If I held that X bag, I'd be down like a lot. Where was the sacrifices? I mean, I'll be here. I'd be down a lot, and I know myself. I probably would have held through that, because I held Bitcoin through the previous cycle. So I'm stubborn like that. I just hold my bags right through all of this crap. Not only that, our fiat currency in South Africa has been devalued by 40% against the dollar. You guys are lucky if you live in the US. But we got wrecked. Everything is more expensive with inflation, and we lost 40% of our value versus the dollar. I mean, even if you look at our stock market is wrecked, but everybody is wrecked. I mean, but I predicted all of this during the COVID grab. We're still trying to convert Lyman Ortega to being a hexagon, but eventually we will get there. I would agree with you. Focus on 1 to 7 tokens and you'll be okay. Yeah, Ash, I mean, the reason I could trade so many coins back in the previous bull cycle was because, well, we didn't have to KYC on Binance. You could have just made an account, and now there's no way I am giving away my my identity now. And I set limit orders. It was it was like a stake. Like I would get my purchase, and I would set my limit orders when the coin doubled with this versus BTC, and it doubled. And I checked my sell page every day, if some of you can remember. And if I got sells, I went back, pulled up my fib retracement, and got back in another limit order at the 61.8, and then rinse and repeat. I just played it like that, and I mean, people thought FTX was great too, and they learned. Everybody needs to come back to Hex, and the bear market will be fun again. It's good to see the camaraderie back in Hex. Like, we needed this to happen. And at the end of the day, what was most likely going to happen, and it's going to happen again, these exchanges I mean, even banks are like that. You just simply can't trust humans. It just comes back to that. And I mean, we're all old enough to know, to have been betrayed by someone in our lives, right? To have been rejected. Yeah, everybody suffers, right? It's like that saying, men lie, women lie. But I'm going to change it a little bit. Men lie, women lie, but smart contracts don't lie. They can be coded wrong, like we've unfortunately seen with the Poly Maximus. But Ash, that's a very, very valid point. I was sitting through the auctions again today. I'm like, now I'm already managing all of these different wallets. I'm looking at these HSIs, trying to work out the Icosa yield, trying to figure out what the hedron is versus that Icosa, and I'm like, dude, this is just too much. I'm glad for those that are making money, but yeah, I mean, very valid to just focus on a few coins and just chill. And we've already got so many coins already from Hex. We've got Hex, Icosa, hedron. What else? People thought FTX was great. Yeah, I've read that. Jesus, put up your hands on this champ. I hope that's a compliment, bro. Hated to compare Hex with FTX. Richard was pretty clear about everything. SPS lied as much as he could, that FTX saga. It's almost as if we're living in a simulation. Like, all of these scammers say the same things. Like, he comes out the day before the collapse and says everything's fine. All reserves are fine. FTX US is fine. And then the collapse. Oh my. Oh. Yeah. Lol, I'm all cash now and stubbornly waiting for 11k BTC. Oh, you're at least listening to Richard Hart on that. What more bad news can we get for us to get down to 11k? I mean, all of the exchanges don't have money to dump. All of them do have a lot of Zen, right? Like I tweeted, no wonder all of these Huobi and Gate.io was farming Zen so incredibly, so vehemently, right? They need money. And like, I was doing the chain analysis, like, as soon as they could, they were taking the gas fees that they were using. Like, as soon as they had enough reserves, they sell down the price to go mint more. I mean, if they start collapsing, they've got so much of that coin to sell down. I mean, we're talking a lot about the coin that shall not be mentioned, right? KuCoin actually is quite interesting. You trade on these exchanges external, or they've got like these internal ledgers. So they're, and KuCoin actually is opposite than that. They you actually hold your coins. Now I'm talking a little bit out of my you know what here, because I'm not quite sure, but apparently you trade on chain there, or you have your own wallet. Not quite sure, no, don't quote me on that, but I read something about that. I should maybe do some research. But yeah, I simply use exchanges, buy Ethereum or USDC, buy Hex, or straight from the centralized exchange into my wallet and out again the same. Like nothing is on exchanges. Like I don't even need two-factor authenticator on my exchanges that I use, because it's literally in and out. I mean, and that is the message for today. And I always say this, right? 95% of your coins, whatever it is if it's Ethereum or Bitcoin or Hex, should be stored on your hardware wallets, right? That doesn't even have to be a hardware wallet. If you're not watching explicit content on the internet, you can store it on your phone. And if you're not downloading all different types of applications, right, very safe. Just write down your words on a piece of paper. Don't store it on the cloud. Don't store it on a text document. Oh, stupid things like that, right? I mean, pigeons and squirrels can store stuff physically. We should be able to do it as well. That's another great Richard Hart quote. No, Lyman, hopefully he gets some stakes. He does have 30k worth of stakes. Nice. I'm gonna nuke them. It's soon to save on taxes. Ooh, okay, interesting. Maybe some trolls just want BTC to tap under 4k, so he's left behind liquidated. If we go to 4k, I don't know. Hopefully Hex decorrelates. Under 50% EES is very beneficial for the OA and the other stakers. Thanks, man. Yeah, I mean, the end stakes have been very profitable. All centralized exchanges are sus. Get your funds out. Yeah, I mean, Crypto.com was doing a live stream today, and the token price is dumping hard. And this is pretty much a global bank run on all of these coins, right? We're at 7, so it's rallied up a little bit today. But new lows, this has to go lower. And we're pretty much back to where we started at. If this survives, hopefully you can store it off chain. I don't know how to take Crow. Is Crow a ERC20 token? It is. It's an ERC20 token, dude. You can store it off chain. So this is their holders. 77% of the coins have been burned. Interesting. But if we just take that out of the question, the vast majority is sitting on KuCoin themselves, right? $300 million coins just chilling there. I mean, is there anything else you guys want me to cover? The summary for today is get your coins off exchanges, get hardware wallets. I should put my ledger link down below again, so you guys can get it through there. I don't even know if I've ever gotten a sale on it, but referral links obviously help. Not going to talk about that coin. Hedron, nicely catching it up. I told you guys about the bullish divergence that was down here. Right, the indicator was going higher, yet the price was going lower. It's still up there. And we made a higher high. We might just come back and test the resistance before. People are eventually going to be running out of Hedron, so they're going to need to buy it on the market. Or mint some. Thoughts on Zen? I made 2 videos about it. I was probably the first guys that did the chain analysis to show that the exchanges hold a large amount. Unfortunately, I don't like it, dude. I have like, totally be honest, I have like 10 wallets that have minted 340 days. Like, that's how I work, dude. I just know that playing around with things down at the bottom is probably not the smartest thing to do. And if it works out, it has cost me minting fees. I'm not bullish on it at all. If it gets me a few $100s, I'd be happy. And I'm going to sell it for Hex in the bull run. I'm just being totally honest. I don't like the community. If you go back to my tweets, dude, I was like, before Zen was launched, I said that this is a vampire attack on the community, another one. No hate to the Zen holders. I'm probably, now, this has to count for something. I've traded literally thousands of coins, right? I've held Bitcoin. I've held ETH. I've held Bitcoin for the longest time. I don't own anymore. And I am now probably what you can call a Hex maximalist. An OG, if you want to. I went into the AA on day 5. I lost my position. It was a very small amount of Hex that I put in, because I watched Richard Hart through the 2018 bear market, thrashing all of the haters. He was a Bitcoin maxi back then. It was all about the Craig Wright being fake Satoshi back then. That was all the narrative. And he got my respect because he actually confronted the dude in Malta. That's my story with Richard Hart and Hex. I then chased the big payday. I thought you were going to double your money. I was wrong. I staked that one day to get the big payday bonus. It turned out to be only 30%. But in one day, I learned more than I've ever learned in my life, because I was panicking and all of my Bitcoin was on the line. I then staked all of the Hex out for 6 months. And we can even go back on the chart, right? This was back here. I put all of my BTC at the top here, right? I wonder if GRC is still here, but I had been gathering BTC the whole bull market, trading the altcoins extensively. And in one day, I lost 84% of my Bitcoin. Do you think I was fucking depressed, right? But I held, and I believed in what I had learned, right? And 6 months later, look what the price has done, right? From here, what is 6 months? 180 days. The price was up here, and I was well up on my money. I doubled it down with my trading portfolio down here. Like, doubled down. I had like 2/3, which I had in cold storage, like I always say. Most of your coins should be in cold storage. I had 30% on exchanges though, which was maybe a little bit stupid, on Binance. And doubled it down on it down here, and rode it up all the way to where we're up now, right? So I know how the new guys feel, right? I've darn well been saying twice through it with what you guys have been through right now, right? And I'm still so darn ash bullish. Let's see what hedron is doing. Yeah, I'm pretty sure people are now running out of hedron that they need to mint, because there is still a lot of auctions that has to be played out. So they need those hedrons to... I mean, now that I've seen it all played out, I know hedron so much better, know all the mechanics. Yeah, I should have learned more about it before the time. But yeah, I'm not picking up pennies in front of a freight train. And I don't have the mental juice. It's probably not wasting it to spend some time, but either way, I'd rather just do the easy thing. That's what I like to do. Just do the easy thing. And just stake my hedron on a new wallet. Or my Icosa, excuse me. So I don't reset my timer. Yeah, and just sit through the amazing yield that's most probably going to come up next. Because remember, the yield is calculated by the amount of hedron burned, right? And lots of Icosa coming onto the market. I'd actually like to see what the Icosa and hedron pair is doing now. Because I've confused myself on this pair so much. Gotta catch them all. Yeah, Ash, go get some, dude. Newbies won't ever forget this bear cycle. This has probably been the toughest bear cycle yet. Black Friday discount coming on ledgers, 30% maybe. I'm buying some for onboards. That's probably a good idea. I have multiple different hardware wallets. Because remember, you can have your keys on different hardware wallets. It's good to have because maybe one gets broken, maybe one gets stolen, and then you do have... And it's a cool way to check if you wrote down that seed phrases correctly. Sell off to oblivion. Yes. Hex Zen is going to continue to be sold down. It's simply logic, right? If you can mint it for free, and if there is a slight profit, and there's really good calculators that has been developed, very good bots that have been developed, so it's even more efficient than it was at the start. Zen is not only for gains, it's about a fair distribution. There is not enough to get some for minting fees. That's the real value to be able to get at BTC miners from so much advantage. People like to sell things that they get for free, and they do not value things for free. Like, I used to give my granny style of investing course away, and no one finished the course. But as soon as I started selling it for $50, people finished the course. Please explain that to me. And that, I mean, CI, it's cool that you're passionate about it, but please don't risk your money on it, because, yeah, I mean, I don't want to FUD your coin. Like, I know how it feels for the last 2 years to been trying to be FUDded out of my position, and it's not fun. Wow, you smashed it, balls of steel. Dude, I sat through it. It's not been fun. I mean, it has been fun. I've learned so much. I mean, I've learned more since I've been in the Hex community. Like, there's so much value to be had and so much to learn. And it's challenging. This is the real way it should be done, right? Off exchanges, decentralized exchanges, liquidity providing. And I'm a much better speculator as well. anyone agree seeing Icosa hitting 70 cents before 60 cents? I think it's going to be continued to be pushed down. I got some at 91 cents, so it's not fun. Look at all this USDC. So 3/4, you can't see it here because my face is in the way, but 3/4 of buys of the value in this pool is bid support, meaning people that want to buy 75k of the 100k liquidity is people that are buying. So they've obviously got limit orders down here. The RSI is pretty low. It's almost as low as it's been down here at its start. It's probably going to come down to test the bottom here at 78 cents. Could it go lower? I mean, they're going to continue arbing the price down, because as soon as one auction is profitable to sell on the market for profit, it's going to be happening. So, I mean, we could see lower prices on Icosa. See, I mean, it's not bad talking about coins going down in prices, right? Like, we're talking about an ecosystem that many of us are well invested into. And prices do go down. So yeah, hedron, I'm not surprised at all. Like, I've talked about this in the week coming up to the auctions. But these are good value areas down here, because you can stake it and the yield is going to be pretty insane in the next 2 days, depending on how long the auctions go. Probably the most is going to be burned today, so I expect the yield to be the best on this day. But now you know what happened to BTC from 20. The thing, yeah, okay. I'm gonna ignore the Zen guys in the chat for now. Hey Hans, always charge as free never works. Bring back the granny course. Exactly. The sense of I've learned that. Yeah, people, that's just human to not appreciate things. I don't think I have it in my description. I'm not selling it now. I think I'm done with promoting the investing and going on centralized exchanges and looking at other coins as well. It's just this last week has just again once reinforced the ex-maximalist in myself, because I mean, how many times do you have to be proven right? Buying okay, I'm ignoring this. No, dude, I mean, you can I'm not censoring anything. Like, you can post about it, or I do forgive you. It's just unclear at the moment. Hans BTC to 10k. I've been so wrong during this bear market, like in so many different ways. Like, I mean, all I'm going to do from now is look at the chart and tell you what I think. We have new lows, right? I mean, inflation is coming down. We're going to have a 50% basis point. Quote me on this. Now I'm doing forward. I just said I wouldn't do that. There's most likely going to be a 50 basis point rate hike in December, which is lower than it was in November, right? Which was 75. I'm just not sure about the date. It was November. We're in November. So technically they're softening on their tightening. They're not pivoting yet. They're going to continue. It's going to start coming down quickly, just as quickly as it came up, the inflation numbers. The inflation numbers came out at 7.7, where it was forecasted at 8.2%. which is down drastically. Now, these are not, it's, I mean, inflation is technically a lot higher. We all can see it in the real world, right? At least 20% where I'm from. Not 7%, but either way, the CPI says that it is coming down. And people are going to start defaulting, and we can already see job losses. The stock market, I mean, this is the dollar. Yeah, I had the dollar up. Now, we've been talking about this dollar. It's probably the one thing that I'm right about, is we finally got the dollar dump, right? We've broken out of this triangle. This is your target at 105. It's from the top of the triangle to the bottom. I mean, it's been screaming a sell for weeks. And we can just see every time you get these massive divergences down here, you get your downtrends, you get your massive downtrends, right? And if you put this over the Bitcoin chart, let's put the DXY up here on a new price scale. You can see when the dollar is the line chart, obviously. When the dollar bottoms, you can see the nice W, the bottoming pattern down here. Your risk assets, in this case, Bitcoin tops out. And when it starts to turn, your risk assets bottom. Now, I mean, I was wrong about the bottom down here. Let's quickly pull up the USD Tether. The USD Tether dominance to see. Now, this is the most liked stablecoin. This is actually a double top, right? A double top does not have to be lower or at the same price. It can be slightly higher, but not more than 5%. Let's measure this out quickly. It's not more than 5%. So this is a textbook double top. It's the same double top that we had on Bitcoin, right? I mean, this is a long-winded answer to your Bitcoin. Are we going to 10K? I mean, you're probably asking me that because you want to speculate on Hex going lower with it, most likely, because everybody wants a better price in Hex. I'm not risking it. I have literally no fiat. But I do, unfortunately, still trade with a small percentage of my overall portfolio. A very small percentage. And I sell when the RSI is high and rebuy when it's low. And I made a nice profit in the previous, in this most recent Hex cycle. And I'm not showing it on this channel anymore. It's just my degeneracy playing out a little bit more. So we have, unfortunately, we were looking at the tether down here, and it looked like the top was in, and now we've made a slightly higher high, which is technically bullish, right? Maybe I should pull up the USDC. I know the USDC actually did break its lows. And it's a little bit weaker than the USD Tether. Now this just shows how much dominance, how much of the market share these stablecoins have. This is, it's a bull flag, right? It's tend to break up higher, but it can be bearish as well. I mean, I don't know where I'm going with that. The dollar has topped out. The USDC stablecoin is starting to flow out. People are starting to flow out of it. US Tether is made a double top, or it's more bullish. What more bad news can we get? What else can push us down? I mean, the second largest. That's a guinea fowl. The second largest exchange in the US collapsed. It was pretty much a Ponzi scheme. I mean, we had the Celsius, we had the Luna crap. What more can go wrong? Crypto.com can collapse, but it's a smaller exchange, although they're probably one of the larger marketers in the space. They're pretty much everywhere, right? So, like, I would love the bottom to be in. Inflation is going down. The dollar is stopping out. I mean, yeah, okay. So there is the Mount Gox, empty Gox coins, but I follow the wallet on Twitter. The coins has not moved at all. Let's see if the stock market has opened yet. Yeah. So look at the stock market, how bullish it is. This is a massive push, like on the weekly off the lows. MicroStrategies. This is the company that holds the most coins. This has not made new lows where Bitcoin has. This is Michael Saylor's company. There's a gap there and a gap there that has to be filled. It's still, the market hasn't opened. The Nasdaq, look at this massive gap up here. We've broken structure, meaning we've broken this W, right? So you've got a measured move. So it looks like we're going to have a rally right into this. I mean, Bitcoin would probably have been by 30K by now if we didn't have the FTX crap that happened, right? So the tech stocks are rallying. The SPA, we've got these measured moves. It's almost hit already. I hardly ever change my charts, so this is on the fly. So it looks like we're going up to 400, so this gap is going to be filled. Let's look at the total market cap of the cryptos. We've unfortunately have made a new low here, but massive bullish divergence on the indicator down here. This means the prices are going down, yet the indicators, the momentum is up. The Russell, which are the smaller coins, also up on the weekly, although we haven't broken the market structure yet. The GBCT, yeah, the massive discount, the 40% discount is still there. We can pull it up quickly. GBTC premium at 41%. Yeah, that sucks. So does this mean we have to come down another 40%? Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're telling me? Have you guys seen my time analysis? This is generally where my halvening time cycle, this is where markets tend to bottom. I think I still have it. Yeah, let me pull it up for you guys. This is the Bitcoin index chart. This is all of the Bitcoin history. Okay, it's not up there. Let's see if it's on the Bitstamp chart. No. Yeah, so let's go finish this chat and then we'll... okay, sorry, you didn't know, you don't want to know. Yeah, we covered that. That Polymax was out there buying up the cream, paying hedron big amounts. Did they have a bot? Like, I just saw their good buys they got. Buying Icosa now at these prices and staking it seems like the best play presently. I only drawback is the clock time for the new Icosa stakes. Dude, it saves me from myself. Like, not selling down here, right? Hans, are you watching the news about Hedera Hashgraph? I heard some bullish chat of the uptake of a protocol. I have actually heard a lot about Hedera Hashgraph this cycle. It seems to be good technology. FTM literally copied Hedera Hashgraph right just as it is. BTC to 10k, no, just to gauge, to feel the overalls. There is a clip of Richard Hart saying 10k to 15k deep. That's his exact quote. Deep, he said, 15 to 10k deep. So yeah. So Hex is your biggest holding by far. But what is at your second and third place? Second would be Icosa at this moment, and then Hedron, because I've minted all of my Hedron and I sold it for Icosa. DAG, decentralized acrylic graph, has gotten some popularity gains. Yes, also Phantom. Don't know if IOTA comes back. Yes, like I said, I know Phantom copied Hedera Ashcroft outright. Don't know if IOTA comes back. The reputation is... You know what? I'm probably not even going to trade altcoins this season. I don't know. I don't think it's worth the risk at this stage. The exchanges, if they survive the bear market and I don't have to KYC myself, and I might, like I always say, trade a very small percentage, maybe 1 to 2, at the most 5% of my overall portfolio on the altcoins, because it is fun and I am very profitable trading it. But then once again, yeah, I need to think about the diversification aspect a little bit, because why not throw all your coins in one basket if we all believe Hex is going to do well, break its all-time highs at least. Why not just consolidate all that gains? You don't have the third party risk. I don't have to do all that work. I mean, darn it, checking my sell orders every day, checking my buy orders every day, setting sell off to doubles, and then the third party risk and the fact that they get hacked and exit scam and all of those different things. It's just so much easier to just stake my X for 3 years from now and just sit on my hands, eh? We've talked about the GBTC discount. Laminator guy, I appreciate your streams and your charts. Have a good day, my African friend. Thank you guys for coming. Thanks for the chats. Let's get down. Yeah, dude, CI or CL, dude, don't take it too hard. I mean, I know we all get really caught up in the coins that we hold, and we get like really attached to them. Any thoughts on the Ethereum bottom? Ethereum has not broken its lows, right? I mean, it's very deflationary at this stage. We've held these lows. I mean, it looks good. It didn't make a new low while Bitcoin did, and that's bullish. I mean, Bitcoin's at 17.1 right now. Good strength. This is a nice little double bottom. Bitcoin does not like to make V bottoms. It likes, this is a V bottom, right? A market structure or a W bottom looks like this, right? So we've already come down to retest, which is good. We need sideways movements here. We literally have to restart creating a base right now, and only time will tell, alright? Defend Hex price on bottoms and take profits on high tops to have giant powder back at the bottoms. Absolutely. I'm selling more this time at the top that I should have sold at 50 cents, right? I should have taken much more profits. This is my second cycle. I should have known, right? With that being said, I thank you for watching this video. I hope you learned something. Remember, always play from a position of strength. Don't get wrecked. Self-custody. I'll see you guys in the next video. Cheers and bye-bye.